Tiffany Henyard, former Dolton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor, takes the fifth rather than testify in court today.
Yeah, she'd been ordered to appear. WGN's Jewel Hillary is live at the Daily Center with details on her hearing. Jewel.
Hi, good evening, you all. Unlike former board and supervisor meetings today, Tiffany Henyard's appearance in court was pretty quick and easy. She was ordered to come to court, I should say, in person after being found in contempt for not following state transparency laws and submitting records during her time in office. Now, as you mentioned, instead of testifying today, her attorney pled the fifth on the former mayor's behalf. Just after 2 p.m. Friday, Tiffany Henyard, the former Dolton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor, walked into circuit court. Tiffany, do you have any thoughts about being in court today, being ordered to come to court?
We don't have any comment right now.
Friday's hearing focused on a lawsuit filed by the public interest group Edgar County Watchdogs. The organization sued the village of Dolton after Henyard's administration ignored Freedom of Information Act requests last January, seeking spending and other records. Her attorney, Bo Brindley, says Henyard doesn't have them.
She has no idea what that document was. She's going back to some board meeting where they say she held up a single piece of paper. I don't know how and could expect her to remember what that was, given how many meetings there have been and how much chaos there was in Dolton.
During court, Henyard was asked to testify, but with an ongoing FBI investigation looking into questionable spending and claims that she used her government power to retaliate against people she perceived as opponents during her time as Dolton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Brindley advised her to plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's it, Ticket.
I think that's what anybody that's smart and reasonable and has a lawyer is going to do under these circumstances. She's not a public figure anymore. She's not in office, and she has every right to exercise her rights under the Constitution to protect herself.
Court documents say Henyard refused to respond to emails from last fall from Dolton Council requesting records in response to the FOIA request.
The watchdogs were looking for something pretty simple, which were some credit card bills. All my clients wanted, all the public deserved, was to be able to look at what she was waving around that said that that was canceled.
With no documents in hand, Henyard's counsel was permitted by the judge to file an affidavit.
She doesn't have it. All we have to do is advise them with an affidavit. The judge has agreed that that's fine, and we'll do it immediately.
Eventually, I think the people of Dolton asked the mayor to stop when they elected someone else, which was her real defense today, which is that she got out of this by losing an election.
Emotional damage.
A follow-up hearing is scheduled for June 11th online. Also, during today's proceedings, the judge also brought up another complaint where Tiffany Henyard, the village of Dolton, and a couple of Dolton fire and police commissioners are named as defendants. Henyard's attorney says she had no idea about this complaint and has been given time to seek counsel. Reporting live in the Loop from the Daily Center, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
Former Mayor Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard does not have a document demanded in FOIA lawsuit, attorney says. Let's find out what happened. Attorneys for former Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard say that they will file an affidavit explaining she does not have records required as part of her ongoing lawsuit. Henyard was required to appear in court on Friday at the Daily Center in Chicago to produce documents requested last year by nonprofit Edgar County Watchdogs that are public via the Freedom of Information Act. Cook County Judge Kate Moreland filed an order holding in contempt May 23rd for repeated violations of the court orders. Though Henyard was called to testify, Henyard's attorney, Bo Brindley, told Moreland she would not take the stand due to an ongoing federal investigation into possible misconduct during her tenure as Dolton's mayor. Brindley confirmed after the hearing he is representing Henyard in the federal investigation. Oh, man. She needs to do better. She does not have these documents, Brindley said. The one document they are asking for, she doesn't remember what it is. She doesn't possess it. Now, I want to add that this just goes to show that Tiffany was super reckless because she probably was lying. And she probably really doesn't have that document. But she was waving around saying that she had all the receipts and all that kind of stuff. This just shows that this was her fault. It's her fault right here. That she don't possess it, that's her fault. That's nobody else's fault but hers. Edgar County watchdogs sued Dolton in February 2024. So goodness gracious, was that 15 months ago? After failing to receive documents requested the month prior, the lawsuit claims that the group made two separate requests in January 5th, 2024, neither of which received a response from Henyard's office. Attorneys in the Edgar County watchdogs said Friday the village helped fulfill the first request, copies of the credit card receipts and statements since October 1st, 2023. However, they still do not receive a copy of this document. Henyard showed in a January public meeting while stating trustees canceled the credit card, stating the document was proof. Yep, that's what she gets. That's exactly what she gets. We all know a lot of that stuff she was waving around anyway was a lie. So this is her fault that now they're getting called on the carpet about it. I hope she has to pay that fine too. We don't believe that someone can just burn. I think this is super reckless for him to say burn a piece of paper and get rid of it. If you've seen the fact that they were burning paper outside of that Rock car wash, and then for him to use the word burn, that's just really interesting. He would use that word right then. Maybe it's just a happenstance. It's just a bad use of words, whatever. But we don't believe that someone can just burn a piece of paper or get rid of it and get rid of the document. And the watchdogs aren't going to stop until they get it. Attorney Ed Coach said after the hearing, Judge Moreland affirmed Friday that Henyard would be fined $1,000 per day as of May 30th, please forgive me, until she produced the records responsive to the group's request or filed an affidavit. Brindley said that affidavit would be filed on Monday. All right, Brindley. After the hearing, Brindley told the Daily Southtown, the case represents a pretty unfair focus on Mayor Henyard, who has been out of office for a while. Now, she's been out of office for a long time, but that's beside the point. This is about one piece of paper at a board meeting that she had like a year ago, and they seem to suggest that she's going to still have it. Well, the problem is she should have given it to them a year ago. That's the problem. She should have did this a whole long year ago. This is not their fault. And being the fact that we saw y'all out there burning stuff the other day, that's nobody's fault but yours, Bo. Or your client's, rather. That's her fault. Brindley said he doesn't even know what it is. Well, that's her fault. She said that. She was being big. She was showboating. This is what happens. I don't know. Are we supposed to feel sorry for her? And the fact that they've gone to all this trouble and a contempt hearing and everything else is just silly. Well, apparently it is not that silly. The judge thought it was real. The judge feels like it's something that she should have. So or the watchdog group should have. So no, that's on your client, my guy. Edgar County watchdogs, the ECW, claimed that the lawsuit, the only response on the January 5th FOIA request came from the village clerk, Allison Key, informing them that the village administrator at the time, Keith Freeman, instructed the staff not to reply to requests that she entered. Hopefully, you will get what you're requesting. Key wrote, the day the request was received, Henyard's tenure as mayor, which ended last month, showed a pattern of ignored or denied public record requests. The Southtown reported last year that the Illinois Attorney General's office received more than 50 related complaints between January 2021 and April 2024 regarding ignored or denied FOIA requests. The Attorney General's office also received more than 30 similar complaints from the Thornton Township from January 2022 to August 2024, when Henyard was supervisor. The Daily Southtown sought records from Dolton in May 2023 and followed it up again in August of that same year. While the Freedom of Information requests were acknowledged as received, there were no response. In May of 24, lawyers of the Daily Southtown sent a letter to Dolton officials, including Henyard, outlining the lack of response and requesting the village to adhere to the law and turn over the records. It too was ignored. I mean, come on. In February 24, the Attorney General's office issued a binding opinion ordering Dolton to produce records requests by WGN. The village did not, and WGN eventually won a court ruling demanding the documents be turned over. That is crazy work. All right, well, Tiff's back in the news, and it doesn't seem like it's for anything good. Let's see that at the bottom. Former Mayor Tiffany Henyard enters the Richard J. Daley Center for a court appearance to testify in the Freedom of Information Act case brought by the Edgar County Watchdogs on June 6th. Let me know what y'all think about it down below. Appreciate y'all. Grace and peace.